Hi guys, I'm here to bring you your This Week at Axis video for the week of February 9th to February 13th. So this week is going to be exactly the same as last week. However, there are a couple of ways that you can go about this week. So if you were able to hit all of your reps, you hit your reps with good form and proper technique, which is the most important thing for this cycle is having proper technique that's going to allow you to get the most out of this. You can go ahead and try to add more weight from what you did last week. Or if maybe you scaled the reps down for a movement or you weren't able to hit all the reps, you can go ahead and try to add a couple of reps to the movements and maybe stick at the same weight but try to get all of the reps in. So just getting into our review, here we go. So on Monday, we are going to be doing back squats or goblet squats, 3 sets of 10 reps. Again, if your form was solid and you had really good technique and you hit all of your reps, you can go ahead and increase the weight this week. Otherwise, I would stick with where you were and either focus in on that technique or try to get all 10 reps, all 3 sets. So we'll be doing a 3x10 for the back squat, and then we'll be doing 5 supersets of a 50-foot sandbag on the sandbag, lunges with the sandbag on the back, 20 sit-ups, and 20 alternating dumbbell twist curls. So the goal for this one is to try to go a little bit heavier than you did last week, or if you had to scale the reps down, maybe you try to stick with the same weight but do more reps. Moving on to Tuesday, we are going to do bench press, 5 sets of 5 reps. Remember, you need to pause at the chest, a good solid 1 Mississippi pause, because we are at 5 reps and below. And again, I'm going to probably sound like a broken record in this video. If you hit all of your reps and your technique was good, go ahead and try to go a little bit heavier than last week. Otherwise, if you're working on your technique still, or maybe you want a little bit too heavy, I was guilty of that, stick with that weight and try to hit all 5 reps this time. Then we're going to have an EMOM 20 of dumbbell bent over rows, dumbbell alternating strict press, dumbbell push-ups, and strict pull-ups. Again, we're trying to go a little bit heavier or hit more reps than you did last week. Maybe on the pull-ups, you scaled it down to 5. Maybe this week you're going to try to do 7. Moving on to Wednesday, we are going to deadlift 5 sets of 5. I want to remind you that when we're at 5 reps and below, just like with the bench press, where we pause on the deadlift, we're going to come down under control, dead stop at the bottom, reset our shoulders and our neutral spine, and stand up. There should not be touch and go reps when we're at 5 reps. And then we are going to have our AMRAP 20 of 10 single leg RDLs on each leg, 10 toes to bar, 10 kettlebell swings, and a 1-minute plank. At the risk of repeating myself, you can either go heavier than you did last week or try to do more reps if you scale the number of reps down. I'm not going to say that again. Then on Thursday, we're going to back squat 5 sets of 5 reps. And then we have 5 supersets of 10 Bulgarian split squats on each leg, 20 sit-ups, and 20 dumbbell alternating twist curls. One thing I do want to mention with those alternating twist curls, I know gravity will pull your arm down quick on those twist curls, but to really get some gains and get something out of it, try to fight it and come down under control. You know, we're coming up under control, come down just as in control as you came up. You're going to just get more out of the reps if you're doing them with intention and proper form and slowing it down and focusing on your technique rather than rushing through the reps just because you want to get them done. That goes for all the movements in general. Then on Friday, bench press, 3 sets of 10. You do not need to pause because we are above 5 reps. However, if you are in the interest of getting stronger, pausing is going to make you stronger. However, you don't have to, but I do recommend it. I believe Patrick's words were something along the lines of just do it anyway or do it right. You'll have to check in with him on his exact quotes, but it was something along those lines. And then we have our partner work workout. So for this one, instead of adding weight like the other 4 workouts during the week, this one you are going to try to add 1 rep to what you did last week. So it's 5 rounds each, not for time, of barbell bent over rows, barbell strict press, push-ups, and weighted pull-ups. The RX weight is 135 for men, 95 for women on the barbell, and 25 for men and 15 pounds for women on the pull-ups. And you can scale appropriately as needed and try to add 1 rep to what you did last week. So the rep counts are in SugarWOD what they were last week. So 10 bent over rows, 5 strict press, 20 push-ups, 5 pull-ups. Add 1 to that. And maybe you scaled. Maybe you did 15 push-ups. So try to do 16 push-ups this week. Or maybe you did 3 pull-ups. Try to do 4 pull-ups. So try to add 1 to what you did last week. This is why I really recommend using SugarWOD. You should be using SugarWOD in general so you can track your progress and keep track of what you're doing, but especially for this cycle where we are trying to see that improvement and, track what we're doing. Make sure you're logging your weights, how many reps you did, all that good stuff, how it felt. Maybe it felt really easy, or maybe it was really difficult and you're going to stick with that weight this week, but try to make it cleaner and feel better. And just little things like that. So I really recommend SugarWOD for this cycle. And again, I want you guys to focus on your form and controlling the movements for the rest of this 4-week cycle. As usual, I hope you have a great week of training. And if you have any questions, reach out to accessstrengthtraining@gmail.com.